You know, everybody's got their favorite tools in the kitchen that they like, but I got our favorites right here at the Chuck Wagon that I can't live without. Stick around, I'm going to show you a bunch of them. Folks, glad y'all had time to stop by and join us. We're here in Lebanon, Missouri, set up for Wagons for Warriors. It's a great, worthy cause. There'll be nearly 30 wagons here, and tomorrow we're going to feed a whole bunch of people. All the proceeds go to help wounded warriors around this area. So we're just so glad that you had time to stop by. I'll show you some of my most favorite cooking tools that I rely on nearly every time I cook. Probably the number one thing, this old hash knife. This thing has been with me for a long time. It was given to me by a retired Texas Ranger from his great-great-grandmother. So we've replaced the handle several times. Chopper, dicer, scraper, windshield washer, it don't make no difference. I've used it as a spatula. It's ergonomically friendly. I think that's the word that Shan would use. Fits my hand well. It's got a good curvature here. Some of them new ones they make, hard for me to get my hand in. But this one's just right. It's got a good motion. But it will hold an edge and keep it very well. Probably the next best thing that I think I ain't never going to be without, and that is a good wooden handled spatula. Now, it's got to have this curvature to it here so it'll fit in a skillet well, but also it needs to be rounded. That way it gets in the corners. Greatest gravy making utensil I've ever found in my life, because as my grandma said, you can mash the lumps out of it with this rascal. One other thing you got to have if you're going to be a chuck wagon cook, cowboy cook, anything in the world, and that is a good trusty shovel. Also, if you burn them biscuits, you don't want nobody to see it, you need something to dig a hole with, I promise you. But we've done a video on this before, and you can go back and look at it, but this shovel is very important. You can see these holes here in it. They're there for a reason. You reach in there and get them hot coals, you can sift that ash out, because ash won't cook, it's just going to insulate. That way you're just ending up with good hot coals. So, you know, folks, these are some of our favorite tools that me and Shannon use on the wagon. But there is a lot of cooks here today in Lebanon, Missouri. 30-something wagons set up. So let's go around and let's visit some of these folks and see some of their favorite tools that they use. My good friend Doug Hahn. And Doug is a guy that cooks from the heart, lives from the heart.
It's the Untitled Chuck Wagon, and we're from Watsika, Illinois. It's about 100 miles south of Chicago.
I see you got some of your wares laid out here, my friend. You're a fire and iron man, right? Ain't that right?
Yes, sir.
So
these actually all of these pieces were made by Tom Willoughby.
Where's
let's
Tom?
get Tom over here.
Come on, Tom. Had to have a guy that showed up here. I don't know where he come from, but he is actually the maker of these fine tools. Is that not right?
Yes, sir. Correct. They're pretty basic tools. They're a fork, a spatula, lid lifter, shovel.
And these are made a little more modern because they used a welder on them, but these are all forged out of one piece, and that's an acorn on there. And that was made out of round steel.
How long take you to make that, Tom?
With a power hammer, it did take maybe an hour.
Fork. It's just, you can spear anything with it.
I made it so if you had to pick up a big chunk of meat, you could poke it and carry it over to the table and not worry about dropping it.
Well, I got one of these lid lifters last year from y'all that y'all made.
That was a fancy one.
Yeah. They have so much stability when you pick up.
You bet.
And they're long enough from the fire that it don't burn
Yes.
them two hairs that's left on my knuckles.
Right,
so,
right.
It helps. And we use that little shovel a lot. We got us a new grill that we have to take with us on the road. It's sort of my cold shovel. I'll just keep breaking down all the time. So, but mine is bent real bad. I think you use cheap metal because when Shan hit me in the head with it, it sort of bent over.
That means your head's harder than the steel, huh?
Maybe.
I don't hardly ever see these little shovels on chuck wagons, and they are a handy tool. Basically, all it is a fireplace shovel, and it's so much easier to get into those fires and maneuver things around with that little shovel than it is. Now, if Kent had it, he would probably have a bunch of holes drilled in it. Probably the biggest reason they're some of my favorite tools are because Tom made them.
Yeah, we've been friends a long time.
Well, I appreciate y'all taking time out of your day and sharing some of your art and your craft and just your friendship more than that. Doug, Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by.
Untitled Chuck Wagon.
And this guy we fell in love with him a long time ago, but mostly it was due to that little dog you have called Smokey that weighs 101 pounds.
101 pounds, yes.
So Chris, tell the folks, where are you from, brother? What you call your wagon and what's happening, my friend?
We are from Jonesboro, Arkansas, and we call our wagons CP mules.
Well, what do you think is your favorite tools here at the wagon?
Well, since Miss Shelby does all the preparing at the cook table, and she leaves the cooking up to me, my two are probably my lid holder and my lid lifter.
All right.
We got to lift this lid in order to see what Miss Shelby's prepared. So we just tilt that back.
That's my favorite dish too.
Is it?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we just set that right there, and it keeps it up off the ground, and it keeps it sanitary.
There you go.
There's multiple different kinds of designs, but my favorite is this one, obviously. And if I had my other good arm that's been operated on, I could show you a lot better. But anyway, both-handed, you can shake it, and it won't come loose. This was my second purchase when I started Dutch oven cooking. Once you set that back on, we can just fold that right up. There you are.
Pretty easy to store, right?
Absolutely.
Don't take up much room.
No room at all.
Another important thing we have on our chuck wagon is, of course, the chuck box, which is our kitchen. It was made from wood that was from my great-grandparents' house that was built in 1905. All this wood we took and pulled out of the walls. We had to take all the little tacks and wallpaper and plane it down. It's a part of history that I can carry on in the kitchen forever.
Thank y'all for coming.
From
CP Mules Chuck Wagon.
I told you we was going to see some really cool things at all these wagons here for Wagons for Warriors, and when I come by, this big old skillet caught my eye. Now, I don't know how many eggs you could put in here, but more than them hens is going to lay tomorrow. Where'd you get this thing, my friend?
I had a buddy that was in the sheet metal and metal fabricating business, and I begged him to make it for me.
Well, tell us where you're from, Mark, name of your wagon, and what's going on, my friend.
Yeah, my name's Mark Day, my wife's Kim Day, and this is the Starvey Creek Chuck Wagon from Conway, Missouri. A little creek runs through there. And this skillet is part of a bluegrass festival that me and my family's had called the Starvey Creek Bluegrass Festival for 33 years. And we've done a lot of cooking down there. We put butter flavor pan oil in it, and we put our fajita chicken and corn, peppers and onions, yellow squash. What am I missing? Okra, yeah, that's a gas grill. And we don't use real fire, we use gas fire.
Once this gets hot, it don't take much to keep it hot, does it?
No, unless there's a hard wind.
But I see you got it well seasoned pretty good. It's just like a piece of iron. It's got to be seasoned.
Yeah.
What's it weigh, Mark?
I'm going to say it weighed 150, 175, and I've never weighed. Two men can handle it pretty easy. It's got two handles on each side of it. We took it quite a few places. It's not authentic chuck wagon cooking, but
it'll get the job done and a whole lot more. And if it goes to hailing with this bad weather tomorrow,
get under it.
You can get 4 or 5 people under there, don't we?
We got to have to hold it up.
Yeah, but that ain't all you got, Mark, that caught my eye. You're sort of one of them Cooperage fellers, ain't you?
That's what they call it.
That's what they call it? Well, it looks to me like you're sort of that deal, my friend. You make these buckets and barrels and everything, right?
Yeah, I do. And a few years ago, I decided I was going to make me a barrel. So I went to making buckets and barrels.
Oak, ash, what do you use?
White oak on the water. Anything that's going to hold water has to be white oak.
Yeah.
And red oak or just about anything else will not compress, will not swell like white oak will. This is like birch, these dry kegs. So thanks for stopping by the Starvey Creek Chuck Wagon and here at Wagons for Warriors, Lebanon, Missouri, and come back anytime.
We hope that you've learned something today, showing these favorite tools of ours and all these other wagons. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because we're going to show you a lot more. A lot of people have asked about taking a tour of this old wagon, even the teepee and everything else. So we're going to get that out there. We don't take it for granted you stopping by to watch us. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
So Kent's just going to interview you.
Okay.
Basically, just talk.
We'll talk about Shan, how mean she is, okay?
I just don't go there.
Ready now, Shan? Yeah. Are you okay?
Hey, Kent, make sure that's still rolling on there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I love my Grandma Fanny. She's my favorite.